Have you ever asked yourself, why do so many devoted Christians pray fervently for a financial breakthrough, yet rarely see it materialize? Let's be honest with each other for a moment. It's not that God isn't listening to you, it's not that He is stingy or deliberately testing you by keeping you in lack forever. The real reason is far more ruthless. You're missing the operating mechanism of prosperity. Biblical wealth is not a random miracle, it is the result of laws. King Solomon, the wealthiest man in human history, mastered them. The patriarch Abraham lived by them. And now we are going to strip these secrets bare. This is not empty theory. These are daily habits that built empires. If you want different results, you must do things differently. Below are the first 3 habits that will completely overturn your money mindset. 1. Habit 1, the paradox of giving. Sow before you reap. This will shock you because it runs directly counter to everything economics classes and Wall Street financial gurus teach. Human instinct says, accumulate, hold tight, save until you have enough, then share. But Proverbs 11:24 delivers a slap to that mindset. One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want. Prosperity follows a strange law. It does not chase hoarders, it chases givers. Look at Abraham. He didn't wait until he became the father of many nations to give. He gave a tenth to Melchizedek when everything was just beginning. The result? He became a blessing to the entire world. Or consider the widow of Zarephath. She had only a handful of flour left enough for one final meal. Yet when she dared to invest that meal in the prophet Elijah first, her jar of flour never ran out, and her jug of oil never ran dry. A practical perspective. Most people are trapped in this loop. When I win the lottery, when I get a raise, then I'll help others. Wrong. Generosity is not an account balance issue, it's a heart issue. When you cling to money out of fear, you send a signal to the universe that says, my supply is limited. And that very fear locks up your financial flow. They don't give from abundance, they give to activate abundance. Start giving even when you think you don't have enough. That's when the miracle begins. 2. Habit 2. Building wealth with your words. The self-fulfilling prophecy. The second habit sits right on your tongue. Proverbs 18:21 states bluntly, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Do you know why your bank account never seems to grow? It might be because every morning you unknowingly curse it. Job once said, what I have feared has come upon me. Your words are not just physical sounds that fade into the air, they are seeds. They are programming commands for your subconscious and your reality. When you constantly complain, I'm broke, I can't afford that. I'm short on money again this month. You are planting poverty. You're building a wall that blocks opportunities from reaching you. Change the game today. Stop speaking about your miserable present. Start speaking about the future you believe in. Hebrews 11. One teaches that faith gives substance to things unseen. Even if your wallet is empty, declare, my God will supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. This is not delusion. It is a psychological and spiritual strategy. Americans say, fake it till you make it. But the Bible goes further. Speak it until you see it. Stop complaining about lack and start speaking the language of prosperity. 3. Habit. 3. The power of rest. Honoring the Sabbath. In today's insane hustle culture, where working 80 hours a week is glorified and burnout is worn like a badge of honor, this habit sounds lazy. In reality, refusing to rest is a trap that leads to poverty. Exodus 20 commands us to keep a day of rest. Why? God created the universe in 6 days and rested on the 7th. He didn't rest because he was tired. God never gets tired. He rested to establish a pattern and a limit. A harsh truth. When you refuse to rest, you arrogantly declare to God, Lord, my effort matters more than your provision. If I don't work, I'll starve. That is pride. And Proverbs 16:18 warns, pride goes before destruction. Remember the Israelites in the wilderness? What happened to those who greedily tried to gather extra manna on the Sabbath? It rotted and filled with worms. God was teaching them an economic lesson. Obedience brings provision, not anxiety or overwork. Smart work always beats hard work. A true day of rest renews your mind and allows million-dollar ideas to surface, ideas that constant noise and busyness have buried. Try turning off your phone one day a week and watch how your productivity and your finances begin to change. 4. Habit 4. Seek wisdom before you seek money. This is where 99% of people fail. Imagine standing before God and He says, "I will grant you one wish." Most people would shout, "Give me $10 million, or let me win the jackpot." But in 1 Kings 3:9, Solomon did not do that. He prayed, "Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people." He chose wisdom. And what happened? God was so pleased that He gave him wealth and honor as a bonus on top of wisdom. So where is the difference? The poor ask for results, money. The rich ask for tools, intelligence, and insight. Proverbs 4:7 declares wisdom is the principal thing. Why? Because if you give $1 million to a fool, he will lose it within a year. But if you strip everything away from a wise person, he will rebuild an empire in a short time. A practical perspective. Wisdom enables you to manage cash flow, multiply assets, and make decisions that attract favor. It helps you avoid the expensive mistakes that bankrupt others. Instead of mindlessly scrolling social media, read the book of Proverbs every day. Listen to that gentle inner voice before signing any contract. Invest in your brain before you invest in the stock market. 5. Habit number 5. The art of contentment while expecting a breakthrough. Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? How can I be content and still want more? This is the genius of the Bible. Paul says in Philippians 4:11-12 that he learned to be content in every situation, whether in abundance or in need. Yet just a few verses later, Philippians 4:19 promises that God will supply every need. Here is the balance. Contentment is not settling. Contentment is trusting God in the waiting. When you are discontent, you become desperate. And remember this well. Desperation has a smell, and it repels money. Desperate people make bad decisions. They fall for get-rich-quick schemes, sink into bad debt, and miss God's best plans for their lives. Content people, on the other hand, remain calm. They work diligently, follow principles, and patiently wait for their moment. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us that everything has its season. Your harvest is coming, but you must keep a cool head and a warm heart to receive it. The final truth. Don't be a tourist in God's kingdom. This is the truth no one wants to hear, but I must tell you, these 5 habits are useless if you practice them only once. Solomon did not give just once and stop. Abraham did not speak words of faith one random Tuesday and then quit. The widow did not trust God once and return to her old way of life. They turned these principles into a lifestyle. Prosperity is not an event, it is a habit. Like going to the gym, you don't build muscle after one workout. You need discipline. You did not read these words by accident. God is repositioning you right now. He is handing you the blueprint used by the giants of the Bible. The only question left is, will you actually act? James 1:22 warns us, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Knowledge without action is just an illusion. Take action now. Don't close the screen and forget everything. Start today. Choose one habit to begin with. Give something, money, time, encouragement, before today ends. Speak prosperity over your financial situation, regardless of your bank balance. Schedule a Sabbath rest for this week. If this message has awakened something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs a breakthrough. We are not here for entertainment. We are here for transformation. Your season of unending prosperity begins now. Take hold of it.